Toledo, Spain, March 14, 1492. The same year Granada fell, and Columbus set sail for the New World. But in a stone chamber, beneath the palace of the Inquisition, a woman named Isabel Mendoza knows nothing of historical turning points or New World discoveries. She knows only that she has been here for 6 days, and today the Inquisitors have decided that words alone will no longer suffice. Isabel is 23 years old, daughter of a wealthy converso merchant family. Her father had converted from Judas 20 years earlier, when Isabel was still a child. He had built a successful textile business, attended Mass every Sunday, donated generously to the church. The family had lived as Christians for 2 decades, yet none of that matters now. A former business rival had whispered to the authorities that he once saw Isabel's mother lighting candles on Friday evening. That single accusation, delivered in the quiet confidence of a confessional, had been enough to summon the entire family before the tribunal. Isabel's father and brothers were questioned first. They confessed to nothing because there was nothing to confess. Their Christianity was genuine, born of necessity, perhaps, but practiced faithfully for 20 years. But the Inquisition operated on a different logic. Silence was not proof of innocence. It was evidence of obstinacy, of a stubborn refusal to acknowledge secret sins that the Inquisitors believed must exist. When men failed to confess, the system turned to women. The reasoning was coldly pragmatic. Women were considered weaker, more likely to break under pressure, and their confessions could be used against fathers, husbands, and brothers who remained defiant. Isabel had been separated from her family and held in isolation for nearly a week. She had been questioned repeatedly about her family's private religious practices, about what prayers her mother said at night, about what foods appeared on their table, about whether anyone in the household had ever expressed doubt about Catholic doctrine. She had answered truthfully every time. They were Christians. They attended Mass. They prayed to Jesus and the Virgin Mary. They observed no Jewish customs. But her truthful answers were not what the Inquisitors wanted to hear. Now she stands in a chamber she had only glimpsed during her first interrogation, a room with high stone ceilings and walls that seemed to absorb sound. There are iron rings set into the walls and ceiling. A wooden bench stained dark with substances she tries not to identify. A brazier glowing in the corner, its heat making the air shimmer. The chief inquisitor, a man named Tomás de Torquemada's deputy, reads from a document in a voice devoid of emotion. Isabel Mendoza, you have been given opportunity to confess your heresies and those of your family. Your silence condemns you. Your obstinacy proves the devil's hold upon your soul. What follows is not punishment, but purification. Through suffering of the flesh, your soul may yet be saved. She wants to scream that there is nothing to confess, but she has learned that protest only makes things worse. The Inquisition interprets denial as further evidence of guilt. The more desperately you claim innocence, the more convinced they become that you are hiding something. The executioner approaches. He is a man in his 50s who performs this work with the detached professionalism of someone following standardized procedures. To him, this is simply his trade, no different than a carpenter building furniture or a baker making bread. He has done this hundreds of times before. Isabel is not a person to him. She is a task to be completed according to specific protocols that the Inquisition has refined over decades of practice. They begin with the strappado. Her hands are bound tightly behind her back, the rope cutting into her wrists. Another rope is threaded through the bindings and thrown over a beam in the ceiling. The executioner pulls, and suddenly Isabel's feet leave the ground. Her entire body weight hangs from her arms, wrenched behind her back at an angle that shoulders were never designed to bear. The pain is immediate and overwhelming. She hears something pop in her left shoulder, a sound that seems impossibly loud in the stone chamber. Her scream echoes off the walls, and somewhere in the back of her mind she realizes that this room was designed for exactly this purpose. The stone amplifies the sound, ensures that every cry of agony fills the space, becomes inescapable. The inquisitors watch with expressions of professional assessment. They are not enjoying this, at least not visibly. They are observing, taking mental notes, waiting for the moment when pain breaks through whatever resistance keeps Isabel from confessing to crimes she has not committed. The executioner lowers her after 2 minutes that feel like hours. Her feet touch the ground and her legs buckle. The guards hold her upright while the chief inquisitor asks again about her family's religious practices. She tries to speak through sobs, tries to repeat the same truthful answers she has given a dozen times, but her words come out broken and incoherent. The inquisitor makes a note on his tablet. The executioner pulls the rope again. This time they attach weights to her ankles, iron blocks that drag her body downward while the rope holds her arms up. She feels tendons tearing, ligaments giving way. The pain transcends anything she imagined possible. Her vision goes white, then dark, and consciousness itself becomes something that flickers and fades like a candle in wind. When they lower her the second time, she can no longer feel her arms. They hang useless at her sides, and when she tries to move them, nothing happens. Some part of her understands that the damage may be permanent, that even if she survives this day, she may never again lift her hands to her face or embrace another human being. The inquisitor leans close, his voice almost gentle, and asks if she is ready to confess. Isabel looks into his eyes and sees something that terrifies her more than the torture itself. He genuinely believes he is saving her soul. He is not a monster who enjoys cruelty. He is a man absolutely convinced that causing her agony is an act of mercy, that breaking her body is necessary to purify her spirit, and that conviction means there is no appeal to his compassion, no way to make him understand that he is destroying an innocent person, because in his worldview, innocence and guilt are determined not by what you have done, but by whether you confess to what he believes you must have done. They will continue until she either confesses to practicing Judaism in secret or dies from the torture itself. Those are the only possible outcomes of this procedure. And in this moment, suspended between broken body and broken spirit, Isabel understands that the choice she faces is not between truth and lies, but between death as a heretic who confessed or death as an obstinate sinner who refused salvation. Either way, she will not leave this chamber alive.